Good day to you, partner. I'm Pete, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. I am super strugs making this video because I'm trying to make it shorter and I'm trying to touch on so much at once. So I'm gonna plow through this one. We're gonna get it done, and I'm gonna get you ready for season 2 because that's what I do. That's what I do, baby. You know, you talk to anybody who knows Wheat Solo, he says he's a guy you can rely on. Except maybe all of my failed relationships. So don't ask them, and don't ask their parents or friends. But ask my mom, because she'll say I do really good. To you at least. You know, to me, she just says I've messed up everything in my life. But that's mom's, eh? So anyways, here's the brief rundown, the bullet points from this video you're going to want to take home. You're going to want to tell it to your kids, tell it to your wife. She'll go, oh, Wheat Solo, I know him. And you'll go, what? You know Wheat Solo? And then just don't ask any more questions, okay? Fire Golems are really good in Nightmare. Fire Golems are really good at farming cows and stony tombs in Hell. You will need a MERC to kill 1 to 4 fire immunes to get to Hell Bale waves. 4 would be really unlucky. 1, 2 to 4 would be the lucky side. There you go. Can summons do Ubers with no or low gear? No. All right, now let's go through the video. So, by the way, I'm going to define some terminology that I use. When I say no gear, I mean sub 30 points. I think when I played a character to Hell, I had about 30 points when I got to Hell. I think I was at like 26 or 27 skills. And it's actually not that hard because you can buy a +3, +2 wand. That's actually pretty common. Just spam shop AKARA a few times. You'll get one. You can find a +2 shield on the way. And there you go. You're already at +7. So no gear is sub 30. Low gear is sub 40. Mid gear is sub 50. By the way, when you get to 40 points, like you really are a mid-gear player at that point. That means you have your set, you have some skillers, you're pretty close to going to what do you want to do for the rest of the game? Do I want to spend more in the spec I'm currently playing? Because once you start to get into in-game gear, it starts to cost a lot more. So keep that in mind. If you're going to go Fire Golems, what's the skills? Fire Golem, Golem Mastery, Lower Resist, Curse Mastery, Decrepify, Weaken. Now, if you're playing in a group, you might want to change your curse spread to match the composition of your group. Now, you will be the carry in Nightmare and early on in Hell. So, max Curse Mastery and then max Lower Resist first. But after that, if you're playing with some Fizz damage dealers, maybe go Amp Damage next. Maybe even run Life Tap. It's actually really nice for no gear players to have a Necromancer casting Life Tap with amp damage because basically they can just face tank everything in the game. I don't think they designed this game to handle, you know, no gear players teaming up with Life Tap and amp damage because if you die, you're probably a baddie. So let's say you do get to Hell. And what are your stats that you're looking for? Well, you're looking for faster run walk, you're looking for plus skills, faster run walk, and then res. In cows, you can do it in 5 minutes. In this video, I think I took about 8 minutes. It's ×2 gameplay, and I also crashed once while I was doing it, so I don't know, maybe give me 30 seconds for that, so it's like 7:30 clear. But I guarantee you can do it in 5 minutes if you had slightly better gear than me. And I don't even mean more plus skills. I just mean some more faster run walk and more res. Because I think this guy had like -60 res to all of his things when he was doing Hell Cows, which made it kind of awkward. The MERC, that's kind of an interesting question. I'm going to cover that at the end. So let's go back to Ubers real quickly and finish that off. The reason I think summoners can no longer do Ubers with no gear is I have to describe something about Season 1. In Season 1, bosses were doing much less damage than they were designed or intended to mercs and summons. So a lot of the people who said revives were broken against Ubers were comparing information to an unintended bug in the game. That has long since been fixed, and in the beta, Senpai has been consistently nerfing summons survivability and buffing Chaos Tristram and declone damage to summons. And it's just basically he doesn't want summons to be able to tank these fights. I think he's gone too far, and as of right now, summons die very, very fast, even in Ubers, even with higher gear levels. If he changes it, as in he reduces the damage a bit, I think the lowest you could kill Uber with Fire Golems is plus 10 skills and a MERC that can survive to at least apply open wounds. That isn't that hard to do. A MERC surviving the entire fight, that's a little harder. But even Diablo, you can get a MERC to survive a few hits, give him a full rejuve or two, and if he can put open wounds on Diablo, I think the 30 to 35 skill point range, Fire Golems could do it, even as of now. I mean, if he reverts the changes, I think maybe you could do it anyways, but it would be very rough and dicey. And then I want to touch on the Sephic part. The reason why I don't like this idea is that Summoner was never a good way to do Ubers with no gear, because Smiters can do Ubers with no gear easier than us, even in PD2. So keep that in mind. Just because a class can do something cheap doesn't mean another class can't do it even cheaper. Now, what if you didn't want to play Fire Golems and you wanted to play Clay? I'd say don't, because Clay has no purpose in this game other than no gear farming. Once you get to low gear, Skellies are just better. So yeah, I crashed and then I relogged in. Now, what if you wanted to play Bone? I think once you get to low gear, I think Bone is very good. Skellies. I think Skellies need closer to mid gear to really start to shine, but they also work once you get to low gear as well. At plus 10 skills, I can clear Hell Cows just as fast as these plus 2 Fire Golems. What if you wanted to farm keys? For keys, I'd recommend Bone, and I would do Blood Raven, Blood Witch, Nihilithak. Those are the ones you have to run to. If you do want to farm keys as a summoner, I'd recommend Countess, Summoner, and Izzy. And that's because trying to have summons clear a path in areas you can't teleport in is very, very frustrating. I don't think it's worth it, but play how you want. And Bone can also do the teleporting path too, depending on your FCR levels. Basically, it would be a consideration of FCR and faster run walk. It's just, in general, running the Blood Raven is pretty damn fast. And I think that's about it. Oh, let's just do a quick brief rundown on the mercs you're going to want to look for. So if you're going Fire Golems, your best merc is going to be Act 2 Defiance or Act 1 Vigor. And basically that just depends on whether your Fire Golems are a bit too squishy and you're looking for some more damage, or you just want to run faster. Kind of depends on what you're farming too. For Teeth, go Meditation or Defiance. Kind of the same logic. Do you need mana or do you need more tankiness? For Skeletons, go Act 5 Might, no matter what, until much later in the game. And that's because Skeletons have a higher base damage than Golems. If you were running Clay Golem, I would suggest running Act 2 Defiance or Act 1 Vigor. They don't gain much damage from enhanced damage, like I said. And then I think I covered everything. Wow, I actually did it. All right, guys. We solo, aka the Skeleton King, signing out. Have a fun season. Necromancer is much better than Season 1. Maybe not as good as I'd like, but much, much better. And my videos tomorrow are going to show that when I literally obliterate a T3 map with skeletons in the beta. All right.